Everyone, I just want to try something. I was listening to some videos the other day and just want to sort of. The audio, it's not the worst, but I do wonder whether I can't improve it with either a compander or something like that. It's the kind of thing I need an audio person to be able to make a comment on. Uh, let's see, filters. See, I have a gain filter on at the moment. To be fair, it's a little rough. It's about 12 dB gain, which is pretty high. The trouble is if I ramp up the gain on the microphone, the actual transmitter, it clips out far too much. So I kind of wondering what else I can do just to give it a little bit more diversity, range or something like that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I am the problem. I mean, the subtitle generation seems to work fine, so it can't be that bad. Hey, Drama Llama, thanks for getting the name right. Silview, yeah, I got it right that time. Lewis Akkas, Kuros, Termination Shock, good to see that. A Slime, Retired Flying Cable Guy, that's a long name. Hey, Martin, use Boom 3D so audio is full and expansive. Okay. Hey, PR, hey, Your Tech Solution, Bacon Manager. Oh, that sounds like bacon has arrived. Unfortunately, under Linux, there aren't quite as many options available. So let me demonstrate what we do have. Okay. Try to switch to schematics. Okay. There's more now than there ever was in the past. So we got upward compressor, VS2. Okay, I can't do the VST2. Noise suppression, that might be useful when the what do you call it? The filter is on, but realistically, it's probably not worth it. 3-band equalizer, compressor, expander, gain, inverse. So there isn't actually a compander, which I would have thought would be useful for trying to get maximum sort of range out. Use the NVIDIA noise suppression. Is that even available for Linux? Yeah, really, I guess for now I'll leave it. It is available for Linux. Oh, okay. Does it work for OBS? Let's see. NVIDIA noise remove OBS Linux. It's built in. Oh, so when I add it here, noise suppression. Should there be something there for me to select NVIDIA, or is that just it? Let's see how we go. Anyway, we're doing rabbit holes, unfortunately. It became very quiet. The question is my voice okay? Or is it very quiet just simply from the noise reduction? Cut all the background noise, so basically now it seems soulless. It's kind of like when you switch from listening to AM radio over to FM radio, and you're like, I don't like it, I don't like it. There's no soul in it anymore. Hey Harold, or when you stop listening to vinyl records and start listening to CDs, and you're like, no, no, it's got no life in it. All right, okay, we'll stick with that. Let's see, right, Rabito Holos. Let's see. Oh, crikey. I thought I had more rabbit holes. I've only got two here. Surely there's another rabbit hole somewhere. What's this one? Okay. It's not a rabbit hole, but I do need to put this one back together. Sorry, folks. You're going to have to deal with the fact that I am using your presence to put other jobs back together. They need to be done. If I don't do them now, I've got to do them later. So we'll just do a bit of reassembly here. Those are the wrong glasses. A bit of background for manipulation of object is nice. Okay, well, does that come through at all? Hey, law picking, Bazar. I'm going to call you Bazar. Robert McIntosh, hello. We're even going to leave the dust in there because it represents the fact that it wasn't killed by me, it was killed by the dust. This one has a logic board short. So in a few minutes, I guess we'll check and ask and see how everybody feels, whether they want to go back to standard no noise reduction or whether we stick with this. I suppose one test we could try is put on the air filter and see how that goes. Alright, so the air filter is on and running right now. I naturally elevate my voice slightly during this period, but if you find that I don't have to, like if I talk more normally, this is pretty much my normal voice. And yeah, see how I go. Kind of curious how it actually works out what is background noise versus my voice. Come on. Something's obstructing this from falling back down. When you are not talking, the air filter can't be heard. Gate's pretty hard. Okay, can I threshold it somehow? I don't really have any options at all. It's just basically that or nothing. There's not a lot of variability. When you say the gate, do you mean you're referring to the transition from when I'm speaking to not speaking? This is a good time to be able to test this kind of thing because you have a lot of comments and feedback straight away rather than going through a lot of different videos. Air filter is heard when you speak. Give you air filtery, scrapey voice. Okay. Just a simple threshold mute. It's completely silent when you don't speak noises. Okay. Oh, right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Right. It'd be nice to have. So basically, in radio terms, I would say that the squelch is being too aggressive, and it would be nice to sort of back the squelch off a little bit. But like I said, I don't seem to have that option here. Joys of no options. So we'll try the other one. Oh, here we go. This might be better because now we actually have an option, but that's through speaks. So try that. Alright, how does that go? Obviously I can adjust that threshold at least. I'm a little surprised the other one didn't have a similar option. Ah, trapped the... Okay, got that out, thankfully. Bit more background now, but the voice sounds somewhat more natural. Cave sounds. Echo now. Are you kidding? Toilet running. Gain is up very high, picking up background. I can't do much about the gain. Oh, actually it is running a little high. Here we go, just going to wind this back a bit. So filters. Might drop that to about 10 or 9. See how that goes. Suppression level. I don't know which way to go on this. Does that make it any better? Does that make it so much more worse? I can't really get too much closer with the head mic, mostly because it does tend to move around a little bit. No difference. Okay, we'll go the other extreme. A bit better. Okay, let's go full extreme there, 60 dB. Okay, so I do see the NVIDIA effect there. No idea how to get this one done. Sounds weird. Try the opposite. Okay, now we're at 0 dB. Yeah, it's just I'm looking at it now. So and it is definitely in a different place. I'm not quite sure how to apply this one yet. No good? Okay. Well, that's because there is a fan. That's because there is a fan running. Okay, well, we'll just leave that be, and I'm just going to stay like this. To be honest, it wasn't really the noise suppression I was after in the first place. It was just, I found it difficult to have my voice rise up in general. I think that is more a personal training thing, though. I need to get my voice out from the back of my throat, and that is hard work. Look, I'm not usually one to speak like that. Hey, Gary Field. Yeah, perfect, back to normal. So we're back to having done absolutely nothing. Fantastic. That's okay. We had to give it a shot, see how it was, and I will try the NVIDIA one later. Where it might be useful is if I can perhaps, I'm trying to think now, if I can perhaps tie it to some kind of switchable setting so that when the extractor is on, the filter is applied. Sounds like the sort of project I would do. How do you deal with code exhaustion? Golden Badger, that is a good question. My solution usually is to just get up and go find another project for half a day to do, which is why I like having both the board repair business and the coding at the same time, because then at least if one of them is draining me, I just find I can't face it, then I just go into the other room and start doing something else. But that's difficult if that is your only job. Like if you have to be coding all day, every day, then yeah, I really don't have a tremendous number of recommendations for you on that. Take an extra long break. But that is difficult, like I said, if you are locked into that every day. But yeah, oh, right, thank you folks, once again. Above, there we go. It is certainly one of the great upsides of working the way that I do here is I do have that power, that flexibility power of being able to go, you know what, I can't face the repair workshop today, so I'm going to go spend my time in the software world. Of course, some days you do have where you can face neither the software nor the repairs, and then the third option steps in, and that is repair something around the house, or just go do a bit of mow the lawn, pull some weeds, hammer some nails. Yeah, just do something around the house. Play with the fur kids. That's always a good option. Did we get nerfed again? I don't know. Did we? If we did, I don't know about it, and I probably don't actually want to know about it. I am a bit of a chicken shit when it comes to watching other people's videos like that. If they're saying something disparaging, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to watch that. I'm just going to pretend that it wasn't said, and I'm going to continue on with my life regardless. And it's actually not bad advice in these scenarios. And what I will do is, if it's something really important, then I will usually have someone I know will sort of give me cliff notes of whatever it was. Hey Tony W, reload YouTube. Oh right, someone was having trouble with just the channel disappearing or something, the video. Get this reassembled. This is why you got to charge those flat fees, the bench fee, for a no fix, because otherwise you will become rather bitter towards doing this kind of work, because you're like, well, I didn't even get any money for fixing it. So at least if you get a bench fee, you think, well, okay, I'm being paid $50 to pull a machine apart and put it back together. And it's maybe not the greatest payment, but it's certainly far better than no money at all. There aren't enough easy picking gold nuggets on the ground anymore when it comes to this sort of repair work. Hey Shane Stuff, good evening. Hey JFix. So what sort of programming do you do, Golden Badger? Do you work for yourself, or you're subcontracted, or you're employed? So let's everybody dig in and investigate everything about Golden Badger. Just don't dox yourself, okay? Hey, MacBook Fixer. But yeah, with the NRF video, like I said, it would have all been just perfectly fine. It would have been nothing wrong with that video if you just hadn't have brought in the examples. As soon as he brought in other YouTubers as an example, that's when it all became a fiasco. But I would strongly believe that it was all by design. And I have had a few people say, don't play into his game. It's like, well, at this point I'm actually gaming his game for my advantage. So I'm more than happy to play into his game because it's gainful for me more than it is for him. Oh, crikey, mate. I may as well tape up this battery connector. There's no point having it connected anymore. Basements? Basements. That's an interesting name there. You got basements. I can't work out whether it's meant to be basement or mint lollies at a base level. So many questions. And yes, Antonio, drama is fun. I mean, a lot of us do have that rubbernecking gene in us. I mean, yeah, it is interesting at times to just listen out to some gossip, whatever. I think the trouble is when it starts to dominate too much. and when you start instigating stuff. Hey, Nick Miller, welcome along. Could help you sleep if you... Oh, right, okay. I get it. Yep. A bunch of junk that we took out that didn't work. Right. Let's mark this one off. CPU short, sorry, PCB short. That one's been sitting around in the workshop far too long, to be honest. Okay. And have a drink of water, because I've been yabbering. Get some ASMR good going on there. Alright, what are we looking at? Battery required. Coffee damage. No, we're not touching that. Okay, we're going to have a revisit of a 2179, I think it is. Just to see if I can actually get this anywhere. I did mark this as dead, but I want to triple check. Come on. Okay, this is the one where we started out with damage up here on where the prior repair work had been done, and we were missing balls and a few other things. And we still didn't have any success in spite of that. And then we replaced the CD3217s, and we still didn't get any change on that. So we're kind of like, we don't know what's going on. It's frustrating. And like I said, because I do not have any other impending jobs, I can afford right now to chase some rabbit holes. And that's the wrong... I just better put the parts from that previous job into a zip bag, so that should they come knocking saying, we want to see proof that you actually did work on the board, want to make sure you really did what you said you did, I can pull out the little baggy of parts. Of course they can still say, oh, they could be any parts. It's true. Let's see, DigiKey labeled NRF. It starts with a T and ends with a... What? Wait, DigiKey? You mean like the actual big business DigiKey? How would they even know who he is? Or am I misinterpreting something? Quite likely. Hey, Electro Rep. Harold, you're quite right there about the terminology. I guess it's a shorthand form of saying chasing rabbits down rabbit holes. I just realised I don't have the job box for this one. Okay, I have to scan this in. Come on. Tony W, I did not find my stock of the other one, so I can only imagine I must have used them all and not realised it. So I bought another 500. It'll survive with that. See, Rhine Labs. Auto Shop wanted 8,000 for brakes, all four, left wheel bearing, idler, pitman, 4 tyres. It's quite a bit. Alright, what do we got? Right, so the problem here is we don't even get 20 volts. It'd be hilarious if it was just a bad connector. Oh no, this is a fun fault that comes up every now and then. Oh, it's interesting. That one switched back to 5. Very interesting. What can sometimes happen is you can have 5 volts on one port, and then if you reasonably quickly switch to the next port, it will actually negotiate 20 volts. But it won't draw any current. Now, oh yeah, I think I discussed this in the previous one. So it looks like it's only if I go from this here, which is the primary port, I'm pretty sure. Well, that's interesting. It did it before and it's not doing now. No, let's pull this open again. Very confused little port. Right, and I need a container. See, the trouble here is that I wrote off that job, closed it off, took its sticker and everything, and so now I don't have one, but it's 2440. In the past, I have found when I have that kind of behavior, it was the V-input MOSFET, the one that actually switches the 20 volts, through to V-bus. But we tried that and it didn't work, so maybe it's the gate drive for that. I don't know about that either. So there's a lot of uncertainties, and you're dealing with someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, it seems. Okay, budunk. And of course it's got a big fat ugly bad battery too. Big fat pimple on it. And it's missing screws, that's right. This is a nice disaster job. Let's take the battery out. Let's try again. Hello, Flamingo Lane. So 5 volts, 80 milliamps. It'll be the T2 most likely that's warming up. And the behavior is the same pretty much on both sides. It is interesting we get that initial 300 milliamp spike there. And then it just settles into the... It's definitely spikes. So 3, 24, 5, so it's about 2-ish watts. Okay, B-Blood, take care. Alright, let's get the board out, have another look. Looks I'll be happy if I can convert it from a $50 no fix to a $300 fix. I'll be happy. I did manage to fix up my board view software with the problem that I was having, where I was having to do long form. So now I can move on to other areas that need improvement. I thought I was going to be ready to put a release out, but then I thought, I forgot about this other whole section that I was planning on getting done. So more delays. Hey Peter Retired, good evening to you. Whereabouts are you from, Peter Retired? The country is more than ample. Don't want people inadvertently doxing themselves around here. Florida. Oh, okay. Yep. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Retired people living in Florida. It's pretty stereotypical. Let's see. The only person I really know in Florida is Jason from SDS Telecom. You know what? I'm actually thinking, should I take that screen connector off? Sounds like a dumb thing, but you never know. So your epiphany kit, unfortunately it wasn't an epiphany, it was just grind. That's all it was just grind work. I sat there with a notebook with all the different states on the top, and then I just rotated and flipped. So I went through my 8 states, worked out what was wrong with each state, and then adjusted, and in the end I was able to condense it down to there was only 4 states I had to do. So yeah, it was the grinding method, not the smart method. In BoardView software, Windows File Association button didn't work for me. Which file? I know the TiVo ones weren't associating, but the rest should have. Could it be that corrosion on the NAND? Very unlikely. $21.79 in this case, MacBook Fixer. Feel free to throw in some suggestions if you like. Well, that was just junk. That was not violating corrosion. The board's already been through a bit of hell. It's had multiple reflows and stuff like that now. So we're infrequently getting 5 volts, but for the most part not. And the original things that we fixed were over here. There was liquid damage. Sorry, scratch your nose. And that little 5-pin BGA, it had no, and yes, that is meant to be bridged there before everybody gets excited. Those 2 caps in the middle, they are meant to be bridged because there is a void in the line there. So we'll bring up the board view just to prove it. That's not going to work. $1286 boards depends on which one you're dealing with, to be honest, because you've got everything from like the 2936, I think it is, yeah, up to the 3115. So which one have you got? So 1958, okay, schematics. Okay, yeah, so they're both ground here. This is the 2 pins that we're looking at that have got a bridge on them. I think. Actually, is this the right board view? No. I've got the wrong board view. This 2. Right, these 2 are the ones. Yeah. And as you can see, they're all on ground. Oh, 1286. Sorry. Yeah, 1278 is yeah. Yeah, which 1286 you got? You got the GPU issue one, or have you got the cap issue one? Describe your symptoms. So we had the issues down here which we'll clean up, and then there was another problem over here with somewhere with a part that was actually partially knocked off. That we fixed that too. Yeah, with the 1286 you've either got the cap failure one or you got the GPU failure one. Or you got another one. The GPU failure one, you can... Harold sells a bypass kit. When the boards start getting like this, I really do want to throw them into the ultrasonic cleaner. Sometimes you just like to have a reset moment. You kind of like, right, let's get back to basics again. Start from scratch once more. Because you've got flux everywhere, and it's just a unpleasant experience. The downside is if you throw it into the ultrasonic cleaner, if there is going to be a smidge of corrosion somewhere that you've missed, then you're probably going to lose it. Yeah, the ISL has actually been replaced as well. It was like... It was a case of, oh, we'll call this a Hail Mary. I don't like replacing chips outright. Unless there's a, distinct indication that there's a fault. I like to believe that in the most part, wherever there's, with the liquid damage ones anyway, where there's corrosion is probably where there's fault. And randomly replacing parts further away generally reduces your chance of success. What I am worried about though with this one is that due to the fact that the rework originally done was not good enough, it may have caused additional issues. Yeah, I'm the one that... Well, I've replaced these ones after we couldn't get them up. And so we took them off a donor board and we replaced the Thunderbolt ROM. Did I look at the ports? It's really embarrassing if I didn't. That 300 milliamp spike gets me though. It's not, where are you coming from? What are you doing? And it's not a, oh, the circuit wasn't charged or anything type spike. It persists no matter what. Whereas if it was just a case of the caps charging up or something like that, then it would go away after the first or second cycle. But this one just keeps coming back exactly the same every time. Hey, Quicksilver in here? Oh, my hands have gotten all yuck, so I have to dry off. Otherwise what happens is the sweat builds up in the glove and then it comes out past the cuff and drops onto the board. It seems like something's detecting a short, but the thing is, on these PMICs, a short is not necessarily a short, at least not a standard kind of looking short. Like we had that one the other night, and we still had a diode mode of 0.13, which say, yeah, it's like 150, 200 ohms. And so that's not even remotely close to being a short. I'll check 3V8 again. Who knows, maybe it is. At least on this one we do have the 3V8. And we'll check 3V3, stuff like that. Come on, gloves. Although the interesting thing was that 3V8 was running on the other one. Did you get any more VO camera? I only had one more in, so hey there, Homer Simpson. Yeah, I've only had 3 VO cameras now. They're all USB-C faults. People snapping them off. Some of them are so bad that I can only get them to run charging on one side rather than both sides, and they're pretty happy with that. You know, you still just mark it, and it's all good. Right, let's see, voltage. But yeah, apart from the initial couple, nothing more has been forthcoming. Okay, nothing on 3V8. Well, oh, that's VCM. God damn it. I think it's the 2016 that's 3V8. My bad. Oh, wait. Is this Intel? This is Intel. That's why. Sorry, folks. I'm getting my different machines mixed up here. Trying to do diagnosis if it's an M1 when it's actually an Intel. Okay, 12.28. .29. That's 3v3 RTC. It has a little bit of a lag there with stepping up. So you notice it's sitting at 294 at the moment, 2945. But watch what it does when it first starts up. It sort of like hits at 287 or something. Okay, 291. Okay, so it's 291 and then it kicks up to 294, and that happens, I think, just after that spike. Try that again. 291, bam, 294. I could be wrong. Just jump into diode mode, make a comparison. So we should have 0.462 on this. Let's see if we've got anything excessive sitting on that line. 3.6, 4.6. Okay, so yeah, 3.6, 3.7 versus 4.6. That is a moderate bit of a difference. It's 10 and 50. So yeah, it's 20% difference, 20% lower. The trouble is, when it comes to diode mode measurements, they're very, very broad. At best, they are guidelines. Hey there, VHS pal. So, do you have a friend called Beta Pal? Okay. There's a lot of places that goes to. Hey, Thomas Wake. See if anything's up where that repair work was done. And let's see where the repair work's down here. Nothing around where that repair work was done. Hi, Francis. Obviously the 3217s have it. We've got a no stuff. Hey there, Serge. Good evening. This here was the issue I was having with the, I was I had to long form my logic out. So if you go to the mini map, just make it larger. And the problem I had, we'll just pop that up there. Everything was fine for normal parts, just surface mount. But if I say bring up a 165, and the funny thing is, it really wasn't that important, but it was annoying me. Okay, so you got a 165 and you got these pin through parts, and so what was happening, you can't really see it unfortunately. Anyway, over here what was happening is that because it was a pin through, it would start displaying it in strange places. Like the selected pin is up the top here and it would start showing at the bottom there, and then if you click the bottom it would put it over here. It was all just weirdness, and it was only a small thing, but it's those small things that can really annoy you after a while. So anyway, all fixed now, but took me a few days. It's ridiculous how much code can sometimes go into the smallest of things. Yeah, Quicksilver, you guys got that pretty hard, and of course you're not really used to this kind of stuff, are you? I mean, the thing is, the Brisbane area and going further south, you guys do get those brutal microbursts. I find the microbursts in many ways are worse than cyclones, because you barely get a warning, and then all of a sudden you've got this tremendous amount of damage coming your way, and you've had maybe 15 minutes warning. Whereas at least the cyclones, you've got 3-4 days of warning. Yeah, first cyclone, yeah. Well, it's a good thing at least it was a category 2, category 1, whatever it hit you with. Like, if you think about poor old Townsville a few years ago, they got slammed with a category 5. But fortunately, at least everything up here is built for it. Or at least it should be. I'm sure there's a few that are not. Okay. Although I do believe you do have to comply with cyclone standards down there for your building, don't you? But like I said, I personally find microbursts to be scarier. Like when we got hit with one about a month and a half ago, I was just looking outside and I thought, yeah, it looks kind of weird out there. And then, bam, it hit and it tore down a lot of trees around here and things like that. Far more than a cyclone ever has out here. So yeah, I find them somewhat more unsettling. Just trying to clean up some of the flux issues around here. That's why I warmed up the board. Just try and get a bit of a clearer look. It's still pretty messy down there. Let sucker just float. That's moving. Joy of leaded solder. Oh, Francis, that was the old damage that we worked on. Oh, I don't think it was it floating. It was just the board rocking. I think I might actually bring out the toothbrush for this bit. Yeah, got to give credit to Joey Does Tech for his microfiber technique. It kind of has allowed me to avoid doing ultrasonic cleaning for a while. It is surprisingly effective at getting flux off. I mean, really, yeah. You saw what it was like before, and now look at it. You got to admit, that's pretty damn good. And you try to do that with paper napkins or anything else, and you're not going to get that level of cleanup. So yeah, definitely credit due there. Like I say, it's not ever going to be quite as good as an ultrasonic clean, but it's really close. The main difference being, of course, is under the BGAs are probably still going to be full of flux snot, but you could counter that by heating it back up, flushing it, and then hitting it with the, what do you call it, compressed air gun, like I've got the little paintbrush gun, and that does a great job. A suicidal pig, we can't use that term around here. That term is patented and copyright by some individuals. We'll come up with our own one day, but not that one. You don't want to get into trouble around here. Oh, I'm only kidding, suicide pig. Yeah, I was just being facetious. Fairly laid back around here. Better than NRF. Oh. So now you're just stirring the wasp nest. Hello, NPC Bob. Interesting that I got that 20 volts for one instance before. BTBTF. So you could say BT2F or 2BTF. No, 2BT, BT2F. Yeah, I don't think I want to blend in that name into any of my terms. Might be able to come up with something else though. Factory fresh. Someone made a really good title suggestion the other day, and I completely and utterly forgot it. And I'm fairly miffed about that because it was a good suggestion. Low subs, high service. But what happens when my subs go up? We're not even getting charged. But then I don't know if it's a bad battery. I have gone through so many of these batteries lately. It's ridiculous. Okay, we'll get one that we know does work. $2179. Old man syndrome. Well, I can't deny that does somewhat represent me. Okay, we don't have a screen connector on this, but that's okay. We're so far from screen activity, it doesn't matter. Okay. Miss your Coco 3. What's a Coco 3? I'm only a smidge older. Greg Foster, yes, I have the 140 watt Apple brick now and the 240 watt cables. Hey Rilla. So yeah, they'll do the that's insulin time. Bye donkey. Oh, the Tandy 3. No, I didn't get the Tandy. I used to read the Tandy catalogue a lot. Like it was sort of like my only entertainment as a 6 or 7 year old. Reading that Tandy catalogue in the middle of frickin' Northern Territory in the middle of nowhere. I never got one though. Instead I got the Dick Smith VZ200 and then I got a VZ300 after that. Does the meter support? Yes. Yeah, it does. I just don't have anything that will trigger it. I actually almost released the meter and it wouldn't have been able to handle 28 volts, but then the 28 volt spec came out from Apple. Well, obviously Apple didn't make it, but and at that point I was like, crap. So I had to redesign the current meter so that it could cope with the 28 volts. Wheel buffering? Gonna blame YouTube. Thomas, it doesn't seem to be a DFU issue in this case. I mean, Yeah, well, I'll try it in this chassis just in case. But I'm fairly sure it's not DFU. Just gonna make sure the Big Mac is awake. Are you awake? You're awake. Good job. Oh, crunchy noises. Yeah, nothing at all coming up. Nope, diddly squat. Nothing happening there. There is a pin to test on the DFU, yes, and there's also a pin to force it. DFU status. So what do we got? We can either get it there or there. That one is not accessible from this side, so we look at what we can get on the other side. So they've got a no stuff 6-pinner next to 2 big chunky caps. And there it is there. So we can plug that in. Switch to voltage mode. What is it? It's the middle one on the left. And we have nothing. So not in DFU. Power signatures match to a 1990s, so you got the same sort of thing where they just give that little bit of a blip and then die. Thank you, Osis. Alright, I'm gonna go deal with micro and I'll be back. Okie doke. We are back. What is the wah noise? That'll be the air conditioner you're hearing, Marcel. Thomas, this is actually a different blip machine. I've got that other A1990 that we were working on last night, which also has that blip and then low current. So it seems to be that this is my weak point so far as diagnosis goes. Got these one blip machines, and they're not charging, obviously. Do you need to use UVC or be what? What are we talking about here? Quicksilver. Hey, Mr. Paul Howe. Good morning to you. What time is it there anyway, Paul? Ugh, come on now. Come on. Thank you. Alright, so what I'm going to do is pull out the universal tool for idiots, which of course is the infrared camera. Since I can't work this out using my brain, I'm going to try and work it out using infrared. It's clearly I do not have enough brain tonight for this one. Or the night before. Or the night before. Well. I guess we're just sort of like going down the list of possibilities here. I might stick this one on the lab jack. While that surface is actually should not be conductive, I'm not going to trust it. So I'm going to use a... Except that's such a big piece of wood. I need some smaller wood. Sheet of paper maybe. Hello, what's going on here? Greg Foster, thank you very much for the 20, by the way. I really at some point need to produce the update in OBS where it can track PayPal contributions that come through. So thank you very much for that, Greg. I'm definitely going to go to use. The joyous vet bills lately. Yeah, lots of fun. We'll just stick it on the cloth. There we go. How's that? This is where a smaller lab jack actually probably would be useful for me. Okay, that's running. You can see there's a fair bit of an offset I'm going to have to factor in there. Fortunately, the software lets me do that. There we go. Should be about... Oh, what was that? That must have just been a random reflection. Power disconnected. We'll bring in the... let's see, USB-C meter here. No, you just went flat. Oh, every single time. I just need to replace the battery in it with another lithium cell. Okay. Just give us a few moments and it'll be back up. Waiting, waiting, waiting. There we go. Okay, now power off all the lights. One down, another one down. And we need some cloth cover. Let's see what we can find for the moment. Okay, plug in the USB. Did you stall on me again? Who writes this crappy software? Okay, plug it in. Come in now. So nothing really jumped out there. Disconnect. What you think are hotspots are just reflections, so I really do need to blanket this. Yeah, definitely need to blanket it. No, you can't come in. Yeah, it could easily be the other side of the board. We've got to incrementally check over because we're dealing with such tiny amounts of power and we're at such extremely low levels of thing that because my software scales, it sort of like looks at the full range of what is being picked up by the camera and shifts with it. So it's a sliding window scale. So what you're seeing there is actually just a reflection from the whatever's emitted from the camera itself. Anyway. So not seeing anything at all jump up there. See, it's just a hole. Fortunately, I'm so used to it now that the holes don't troll me. Okay, so here we go again. Plug it in. Do seem to have a problem that the underside of the bench is actually swamping it. Let's see if we can get around that. The main thing is when you remove the power, does whatever you think is getting hot stop getting hot? And as you see, nothing's changing there, so it's not those. So we just keep moving the board around, see if we can find anything that fits our requirements. And of course we do have to deal with the fact that the damn software crashes every now and then. I'm just going to flip the board over. Power disconnected. Power in. Nope, nothing there. And yeah, it's a slow, painful process, but sometimes you just got to go through it. I think I really need to put a pen or something over those spots. You can actually see the reflection of the camera itself. Those are the, one of them's the infrared, one of them's the, what do you call it? The visual camera. That is looking at the FLIR 1 Pro. That is the actual FLIR 1 Pro that you can see. Nothing. So I can try and drop it away. But nah. Alright. We can try it at a different angle, but it's still going to be a bit tricky. As you can see, even at a different angle, the reflection's still there. Hey, Osis, checking my PayPal. Thank you very much, Craig, for the 10 Australian from PayPal for the little fur rats. Thank you, Craig. Oh yeah, they're going to feed tonight. I'm actually going to get food tonight. Might get some noodles. But yeah, so that gives you an idea of just how small the amount of power that we're dealing with here is, like the amount of heat. It is so small that we're picking up the camera itself. I don't even know where this I'm just going to go over this, plug it in. That's one way of doing it, Mad Alligator. You can also go at extreme angles like this. flying over it in the Death Star. It looks T2-ish to me. See that? Bring it up to the middle. This middle area here. See how that's getting warm? That's our T2. Glasses. Where the hell are my glasses? I need my glasses to find my glasses. Flippity flip. See if we can get anything to show up here when I restart. Just put it under the blanket. Okay. Cursed reflections. No, nothing. Oh, you can see that T2 area washes out, like powers off, so now it's gone quiet. I'll put the power in and it slowly comes up. There's nothing unusual about that. So that's probably where our 70 milliamps is going. Now, of course, I'm trying to remember whether I actually transferred the Thunderbolt ROM across, and I'm almost certain I did. Yeah, I definitely have. I've transferred the Thunderbolt ROM, so I know that definitely works. Alright, let's go back to basics again. Let's check the pins and stuff like that. Back to basics, folks. Sometimes you get too far down the rabbit hole and you gotta back out, start again. It's quite possible that if you do have a continuity issue or a comms issue. Okay, I'm going to try two different techniques. We're going to try the Sofix external pin port thing. This is a cheat's way of doing all the diode modes in one hit. Okay, what are you complaining about here? Oh, that's interesting. That's actually different from last time. See, 57 through to 60. They're not significantly off. I mean, I suppose it is 25% increase. They're more open circuit than they are short. So the good value in this case should be 150 and they're reading 200. So yeah, 25%, and that's 57 through to 60, so that's the V bus, I'm pretty sure. Yep, anything but the scope. We don't use scopes. Okay. Yeah, so that's V bus here. What the hell? Why do you crash on this machine but not on mine? It is extremely frustrating when you get a fault with exactly the same source code, and yet strangely it happens on one machine but not the other. Anyway, so XNT, so 5758. So it's actually both these buses. $3,200. Creature, actually these days I run it with the Google Sanitize system in it. I don't know if you've experienced that one. Hey Chris Bartlett. I mean, I do have a scope. I've got my piece of simple junk one up there. Where the hell's my schematic? See, the problem is we've got it being more open circuit than it is anything else. Okay, so that's T-bus. And your X-bus. So it's actually both of them, interestingly. So both of them are exhibiting seemingly... No, that makes no sense. Oh wait, yeah, 57, 58, 60, 59. That's kind of weird. So whatever it is, it's common on both. So what the hell's common between both buses? Because they're both into different 3217s. The thing is, creature, that instrument that we just used, all it does is test the diode modes on these pins. So like those ones and those ones. It doesn't go, it's not activating anything in there. It's not that I hate scopes, I actually don't mind scopes at all, it's just that it's very awkward to set it up on the bench here with a limited amount of space. So I really have to have a good reason for bringing it out. Yeah, so this is as close as we get to them being next to each other. It's on page 26, 78, 79. I mean, it can be a creature, but I generally don't think it's going to be the case here. Keep going around in frickin' circles. Where's that MOSFET? So TVS brick, TVS brick. No, that's Thunderbolt switch. Wait, where the hell are the 20 volt MOSFETs for this? Yeah, the ground is shared between the two chips. Good job. Well, usually the 3217s and 3215s do have an external... Is there no MOSFET for these? Wait, what's these over here? Far too far away for it though. No, that's 3 volt and 5 volt gen. Backlight driver. Crystal. Huh. Well, they come together at the fuses, so it is actually just being handled internally. Like here. So we got X and T. And they just merge here. So they could actually be... Oh, bloody hell. But this is... Yeah, it seems like no MOSFET on the MacBook Air. Oh, they just get merged here. Yeah, on the A1990 I did the MOSFET swap. Wouldn't it be really dumb if the fuses were bad? I sincerely doubt they are. We had 20 volt appear once, briefly it seems. Okay, point. That's fine. That's fine. Can't complain about that. And the other thing is... laggy cam? What? Right, so that's backlight, so that's got nothing to do with it. And that's Thunderbolt. And basically the only real damage we've ever had is around this area here. No, it's got to be YouTube doing the lag. My upload is fine. I'm doing 10 megabit per second upload, so it's YouTube doing the lag. Sorry, folks. It's not AVS. I think it's YouTube because nothing's showing up even orange on this. Yeah. Okay, schematics. So here we are back at the area of the original damage. We've got our very quirky 5-pinner here, which is clock control. Now, did we take that part or did we reball that part? We took the part. No, we didn't. Someone else did. The thing is, when I'm looking at the microscope on my output here, it shows up fine. Okay, I'm just looking at something here. This is the donor board of which parts were sourced from, and I just noticed this. Now, does anyone recognize what I just poked there? That makes sense to anybody? That gives me concern, but I have a feeling I might have just blanket replaced what they replaced because I was like, well, I don't trust what they replaced. But that gives me concern there. It's not so much that it's a cap, unless you're meaning The point is, it's an end cap. So it's like the shell of the part. And tragically, that is actually only for a capacitor. So if it is no good, it's not a problem. So it's this part here, and by the looks of it, I have actually replaced it already anyway. I probably by default looked at it and went, no, I'm not trusting that. I really feel like it's got to be something amiss in here somewhere. Thank you, Thomas. Oh, half a pizza. Oh yeah, half a Soren pizza. That's right. Can't believe how expensive those pizzas are for him. Okay, I'm just going to diode mode check around this area, compare it to what's on the schematic. So this should be 0.16, and it helps if you're in the right mode. There we go, try that. Oh, we are in the right mode. Oh, there we go, 0.15. That's fine. So 6.9 up here, close enough. 6.1, close enough. 6.4, 6.94. Yeah, that's. I don't know what that's supposed to be. 6.6 seems about okay. That should be ground. 2.8 is what that's supposed to be. That's close enough. 0.16 down here. Yep. 0.73. Yep. 413. We're a little low on this one here. We're 3.7. It says 4.1, but I think that's acceptable. 5.8. Yep. 6.04. Okay, 5.8. Okay, no, it makes sense. Yep. Hey, Jim Allen. You've missed out on all the NRF fun. 507. Yep. 711. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I really can't pick a rotten fault here. I could try change that little silver blue part again. And maybe I will change that CPU switch up here. So maybe I can change this, because that is 1v8 CPU switch. And what does this part do anyway? I think I'll just go and replace most of these. We're sort of at the point where we need to do a wipe job, a wipe and rebuild. Did I just hear a cat? I'm just gonna go check that up. I think I might have heard a cat. Did I hear a squawk? Okay. Let's find ourselves a donor. Okay. I'm also just casually checking to see if there are any no stuffs that I've missed. Seems okay. Yeah, Thomas, I know the one you're talking about. This one here, but it seems fine. It's just got a little bit of coverage missing. There's also this one here, which does have a break in there, but I've covered over. Anyway, like I said, we're going to do a wipe and rebuild. Wrong frickin' tweezers. Is it me or is it... Yeah, I was going to say they look like a filter, but I'm pretty sure it's a cap. Okay. That doesn't want to come off. But I want it to come off because I don't know if there's liquid damage under there. Come on. We've got a lifted pad there. That was where that corroded damage was. I do believe we were tackling that the last time too. Yeah. What are we doing? Oh geez, it's 11 o'clock. Alright, we'll get this built and call it. No, I can't even find my powder now. Well, at least everything looks fresh there. Crap. Oh, that's not how I wanted it to go. Definitely not how I wanted it to go. Let's see if I can draw it over. I'm gonna have to pick up a little bit of that solder. There's way too much solder there. Okay, that's more like it. What about M52 above that? What? You talking about my stuff or you talking about pizzas? Oh, M52, right. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to worry about replacing that one. I don't think that one's... It wasn't within the area of the issue. At least not sufficiently close, in my opinion. Bzz. Ah. fairly sure I don't have balls small enough for that. I'll have to paste it. So 3, 4, 5. Sort of want a 0.15 or something. 0.5, wrong direction. 0.4. Yeah, we're not going to get what we want here. We're going to have to paste it. That's not a drama at all. I'm not really an Akadaka fan. It was going to be a Trixie's one. Ah, there we go. Darko, no, it's actually just an unusual chip in the fact that it has 5 pins. Which is kind of weird because, you know, normally they'll put the pin in there and they'll just NC it. But in this case, it legitimately is not there. You can see that there is a internal relief for it, or an internal area for it, but it's been masked off. And you can even see on the board that it's only got a 5 pad allocation. Which makes it exceedingly tricky to try and get the bastard down. Alright, let's hope we get this right. I'm actually just going to use like 350 or something there. And 30% air, no more than that. I don't know what that chip thinks it's doing. And now it's sitting in the right place. Wow, that was a real wanderer. The pink stuff is just a pen that I use to mark the boards where either I believe there's an issue or where I have fixed an issue. I'm just cooling it down in the cooling rack. Can anyone tell me what 1286 board has two fans? I thought all of them had two fans. All the 1286s had two fans. It was the 1278s that only had the one fan. To the best of my knowledge, anyway. Alright, well, if this doesn't work, then, yeah, it's... Like I said, it's 11 o'clock. Time for me to wrap it up for the night. Another wasted night, if this doesn't work. Wasted night. Same shit, different day. So it's not those parts. Crap. Yep, crap. I don't know. Like I said, it's just so much time now being spent on this. It's just really not worth it. If they want data off it, then we're going to have to look at alternatives, spend more time. I don't know, but it's definitely throw them in. It doesn't help that it was already worked on before it got to me, so... Yeah, and now, of course, it's got even more work done on it, so, yeah, it's just becoming more and more complicated and going nowhere. So, a bit of a pain. I mean, the solution could be to migrate the NANDs, the T2. Of course, we're assuming that the T2 functions, and we don't really know that 100% yet because we're not getting 20 volts. So, yep. Another dud night. That's the way it goes. Okay, everyone. That's it. Might see you tomorrow. Until then, you all take care. I'll see you on the next one. I'll catch you later.